Hello everyone, and welcome back to Plok. This is the second area of the game, and the levels are pretty much completely different from that which we're used to from the first area. It's kind of neat that a little-known game like this tries to change it up so much to keep things from getting monotonous, and it's a pretty cool thing. So immediately we're shown a couple new gameplay features, the first being that little target I was shooting. And these targets are seen throughout the game and basically do things. Most of the time they'll help you progress through a level. They have other uses in other places that we'll see. But that's just pretty much the best explanation. They just do things. And when you hit the target, whatever limb you hit it with will get hung up on a hanger, which is hopefully right nearby. You can just get it back by jumping into it. Easy peasy. But the object of these levels is not to get to the very end, like in the first world, but to kill all the fleas that are knocking about. As we saw at the end of the first update, fleas have basically taken over Plok's home island, and they look pretty much like frogs. They seem to be random in the way they jump around, and I think they take about 3 hits to kill. The terrain can sometimes cause them to be a little difficult to hit, but they're overall not too much of a problem. And if they do seem like a problem to hit, the game gives you some items that you're meant to use to hit them, but I find kind of useless. You may have noticed me pick up some black-looking shells at the beginning of the level. These are what I assume to be hornets' nests, and you're supposed to use these hornets to attack the fleas, but they don't do a very good job. They kind of fly around lazily and kind of end up circling around the fleas most of the time. So it's oftentimes faster and a lot easier to just shoot the fleas. It's funny, they have one job and they just can't seem to do it. But yeah, that's pretty much the point of these levels. You see the health bar down there, which kind of indicates how many fleas are left. I'm pretty sure each little tick of health is 1 flea. So you can tell how many you have left to go. And if you take too long between killing fleas, the game is nice enough to actually give you a little arrow to show kind of the direction to go where there are fleas. Speaking of the terrain being difficult to hit fleas, here's a prime example. The steep hill makes it kind of tough, and your limbs are likely to run into shells. But we got through there without too much trouble, and we're pretty much on the final stretch of the level, just have to go back to that one weird thing. Yeah, I pretty much got all the fleas in this area. This part can be a little annoying. You have to stand pretty close to the edge of that thing, flip the thing over and ride it over without hitting any ceilings or walls, and do a high jump before it fades away. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but that's what you gotta do. A neat thing in this level too is when you, if you take too long before getting to another flea, they'll hatch on their own and already be jumping around before you get there. I don't really know why, but that's what happens. Some fleas just like that, you can kind of trap behind a ledge or something, and you can get a pretty easy kill. Well, there's a hanger, which means there's probably a target nearby, and there it is. Yeah, you pretty much have to hit that thing to move on, but like I said, fortunately the hanger is really close, which means you get your hand back. I'm gonna just pop up here to get some quick invincibility, because this room is a little confined, and I don't want to take the chance of a flea jumping into me. But this is what the invincibility's for, these spikes over here to get by, and if you're feeling extra daring, to get 1/4 of a continue. And fortunately, because I didn't die on this level, I got another 1/4 of a continue. And I did shoot off all my hornets or bees or wasps or whatever they're supposed to be, just to kind of show them really briefly, and I'll have to really remember to show them off in more detail at some point during the Let's Play. Anyway, on to the second level of this island, which does a lot more in the way of the targets, as you'll see. Those bees are pretty annoying. They kind of seem to have the same physics as the hornets, I think. They just kind of float around, and sometimes they hit you, sometimes they don't. They're kind of tough to hit because they're pretty small, but other than that, most of the time it's best to just walk by them. Speaking of walking by them, that's what I'm going to try to do, but I'm going to get hit. Yeah, this level the hangers are close to the beginning, which means if you want your limbs back, you're going to have to go pretty far to get them. But I did, you know, just to get a couple hands back, and just feel better about myself in general. So here's another example of the terrain being a little annoying to hit enemies. And as you can see, he just jumped all the way back down, which means I'm gonna have to follow him to get him. And there we go. Now to jump all the way back up. So I went back to get 2 hands, and I hit a target right there, which means had I not gone back, I'd be down to just 1 foot right now. Which is you'd be in a bad way, and there I would lose my other foot and be just a torso. However, the game's nice enough to give you a transformation present with a really cool transformation. Plok kind of turns into a little hunter and gets a shotgun. And the music is pretty cool too. And the shotgun spread makes killing fleas pretty easy. The shotgun's pretty awesome. Like I said, this is probably my favorite transformation, at least so far, and in terms of utility. There's one really funny one way later in the game that I definitely need to show off. But yeah, you pretty much just rush through here as much as you can with this transformation, and you get your limbs back. So keep in mind, if I had not gone back to get my 2 hands, I would have been just a torso when I picked up the present, but right here I'd have all 4 of my limbs back. Which is very nice in terms of design for the developers to do. But now I'm just down to 2 feet again, and I know there's going to be a few more targets. Let's see how this goes. The music on this stage is pretty good. I really liked the music from the last stage. I had some cool guitar in it. This song's okay. It's not my favorite track. Get up there. Alright, so I'm going to try to kill this flea without hitting the target yet, just so I'll have 2 feet instead of 1. Also, I'm down to 1 health, so I'm just trying not to die. And I accidentally hit the target, and got him. So that's the last flea of the level, and I gotta be really careful not to get hit. You have to land perfectly on that thing, and I think at this point I was just looking to see if there's a way to get through without hitting the target. So I'm down to just a torso, and I got really lucky that the bee didn't hit me, else I would have died. But at least it would have saved my progress, and all I would have had to do is just jump up here. Kind of an odd design. The hornets that they want you to use are up here, where you probably aren't going to explore until later in the level. But we're done with this level now. And like I said, I got really lucky I didn't die. I had to make some precision jumps and kill a couple fleas with just 1 health. So anyway, we're on to the hardest level of the whole game. Oh my god, this level's tough. Psych, there's just 1 flea, and there's no real obstacles to hinder you from killing him. I did get hit, I don't know how, but hey, there it is. I don't know how you can possibly die on this level, and I'm not sure anyone has ever managed it. If you've made it this far and you die in this level, there's really something wrong. But anyway, we're treated now to a little cutscene where Plok is reminiscing about his grandfather, and in typical Plok fashion, he just kind of passes out right outside his house, thinking of his grandfather. And what's this? It seems we have a dream sequence. So yeah, the game actually switches up again, and we actually get to play as Plok's grandfather. And the game goes all black and white. It's a pretty cool effect. Anyway, come back next time to see what kind... Oh no, those guys again. And there's 3 of them. Come back next time to see how we're going to deal with that. Thanks for watching.